Hey, so this is a quick instructional video for God Who Saves, and this is specifically for CTI Music Ministries Fulltime Team 1718, and this is the Jared Espy song. I'm going to talk quickly through the guitar 2 parts, so Hillary, that's you. And this part is really simple. There's just a couple of chords that you're going to need to know. It's mostly big beefy bar chords, a nice big crunchy kind of sound most of the way through. But then there's one tiny section we'll be playing like slightly higher partial chords. The first chord that you're going to know is just a basic first position bar chord F. It sounds like this. And that's the only chord you're going to be playing in verse 1 and verse 2. So you're out for the intro, and then here, our God is a God who saves, and His kingdom reigns, His love endures forever, and His that's really it. So you're going to strum it just once on that first arrival of the F on the second and fourth line of the verse, and just let it ring out until just before that C arrives, and you'll want to just kind of pull it back and let it fade out. So verse 1 and verse 2 are just alike. In the second and fourth lines, just hit that F once, let it ring out, be nice and bold with that, because it is this very cool arrival. You'll hear it in the recording. It's really nice. In the chorus, you're going to need to know 3 chords, and they're all chords that you already know, so this is nice and easy. The first is just a C, just a bar on the 3rd fret and an A shape with the other fingers. The F, which you already played, and the D minor, which is up on the 5th fret, so you're going to bar on 5 and add your 7th, add your 2 other fingers on 7 and 6. Just like that. You'll also see on the chord chart there's a C over E. If you want to play that E, you don't have to because the bass is going to be at that point and they'll cover that low bass note. But you can, when you're barring on the C, if when you get to the C over E, you can just take your first finger back a little bit to unmute that low string. So here's the C, and here's the C over E. It's kind of fun, not necessary, so don't stress if you're just like, oh, there's too much to remember. Don't worry about it. The bass will cover that if you just want to hang on the C. But if you want to do it, feel free to. It's fine. So, that's all you'll need to know for the chorus. Here's a quick run through. There is hope, there is peace, there is And another little optional thing, you don't have to do this, but I like to. At the end of that chorus, you just saw me do it. When I'm playing that F, I hit octave Cs where, just like that, hit octave Cs where the C arrives on verse 3 and just immediately pull it back out, and that just leads to a slightly smoother coming down off of the big high energy chorus. So it's not like big sound, crazy beefy sound, and then all of a sudden like, oh, I think somebody forgot to play. You know, it's not essential because there'll be enough bleed over from the other instruments, but it's nice. You can add it in there if you want, and if not, don't worry about it. Don't stress. It is not essential. Verse 3 for you is going to be just like verse 2. The second chorus is just like chorus 1. And then the outro, which I think on the chord chart I labeled bait and switch outro. Because, I don't know, I was feeling cranky or something. But it's just like the chorus feel. So it's the same chords as the chorus. You'll voice them exactly the same way. You'll play them the same, just that same kind of driving. That way. But in time. So, yeah, you'll just kind of play through that in that same kind of energy. And then we might choose to end the song there. But we're going to teach the whole song because there might be times when you want to include that last little section. So that's the part in the recording where you hear like the meter change and the tom drums. It kind of goes into like a six feel there at the end. The song kind of feels like it ends, and then it just like keeps going, and you're like, oh, there's another section here. So we might choose sometimes, or when I say we, I mean your team, when you're writing sets and stuff, you might choose to end the song there at that big outro, or sometimes you might choose to include that last section. So we're going to learn that section, and we're going to practice it in full band rehearsal, and then give you guys the option to kind of take it or leave it as you need. So the instrumental bridge, that is the first time through those chords. When the tom drums come in, it happens right after that big outro. You're actually going to be playing slightly higher partials. You're going to be playing the partials that guitar 1 had played earlier in the song. And the reason we're doing it that way is because Michael will have been playing the guitar 1 part. He'll have been playing those partials earlier, but he's going to drop out on the last chord or so with the outro so that he can switch to the toms, so he can make a really cool drum sound thing going on. I don't know. I'm not a drummer. Something cool. So you're going to be playing those chords, and it's only once through that chord progression that you're going to be picking these up. So what you want for this last section is a slightly cleaner, less crunchy, less distorted, slightly warmer kind of sound. So your first chord is going to be a C. You'll kind of bar your first finger on 5, and I bar the B and E strings on 8 with my pinky. There's your C. And it's going to be nice and simple. The F, you can keep your first finger there barred on the 5, and just add your second and third finger there on 7 and 6. There's your F. I think it goes back to the C at that point. And then to the G, you can just slide that first finger up to 7, and it's just like F, but up 2 frets, which makes sense. The A minor, it is just like you're playing that F, except you take your second finger off. You just keep that first finger barred there. Goes back to the C. No, it goes to an F. There it is. Then it goes back to the C. And then to the G, which you already know. So, and this happens immediately after the outro. You're going to want to kind of kick off your overdrive. I find it really hard to do that immediately, and it's more important for you to play through the end of the outro than to hit that first C in the instrumental bridge. So if you have to cut that first C and then come in for the F, that's totally fine. That's how I play it too, just because it's really hard to, play really full right up into the end and then be able to switch that patch really quick. So, but from the beginning of the instrumental bridge, here's the C, F, C, A minor, F, C, and G. There we go. When the words come in Strength Our God Reigns, the line that I was just humming, when the words actually come in, you will be out the first time. So the bridge is repeated twice. You'll be out for the first time. The second time, you'll play just the changes, but you'll play them on full bars instead of those high partials. So that instrumental bridge, right after that outro, is the only time you ever hit those partials. All the rest of the time, you're playing big, beefy bar chords. So, first time through the bridge, you're out. The second time, you'll be playing just the changes. So it sounds like this. In strength, our God reigns over us, over all. And now hear the shout, the nations sing before our God. Whoa. And then it keeps going, but just the drums play. So, twice through the bridge, twice through that outro. In the bridge, you'll be out for the first time and just changes for the second. In the outro, you'll be in the first time playing quarter note or eighth notes, eighth notes, and out for the second time, because that'll be just the drums. You'll feel it in full band. It'll be pretty clear for you when to come in, when to kind of build that energy a little bit. You should have no problem kind of feeling that out. So that's all the parts. If you want a quick summary of kind of what you're playing, I'll run through it one more time just as a review. But again, this is all written down on your guitar notes, so feel free to reference that as I'm talking through it. In the intro, you will be out completely. In verse 1 and verse 2, you're only hitting that big F hit, which is on the second and fourth lines of each verse. In the chorus, you'll be in on that kind of driving feel on full bar chords there. Verse 3 is just like verse 1 and 2. The chorus is just like the first chorus. And then the outro is that same chorus feel and the same bar chords and the same energy level. You'll just kind of keep playing that progression through. The instrumental bridge is when you kick off your overdrive and you start playing those partial chords. You're just strumming the changes and you really want to sweep them and make them nice and gentle and kind of drag them out just a little bit. They're not like arpeggios, you don't want to... Not like that, but a nice gentle sweep. Cool. The instrumental bridge, you'll play those the sweeps on the partials. The first bridge, you're out. The second time changes only on full bars. The outro, you're in with full bars, strumming eighth notes, and then the final outro is just drums. So you'll be out for that. And that's it. There's probably a lot of things to say on that one, but the parts are not difficult. So once you just get a chance to sit down and practice it a few times, it should be pretty simple.